Hi, you guys. It's Yaz, and today I'm going to talk about, do narcissists get burnt by their victims? What do you think? You think narcissists ever get hurt by the people that they hurt? Well, the answer to that is absolutely yes, they do, okay? Because you reap what you sow in this world, and sometimes when you're an evil person, evil comes back to you, all right? So I'm going to talk about that, but I'm also going to talk about other ways that narcissists get burnt by their victims. Number one, you guys, when a narcissist gets burnt by their victim, it could be a case where the narcissist discarded their victim, moved on to somebody else, and now their victim has moved on in their life. But see, here's the thing. The narcissist always thinks they can come back into your life. They always think that you're going to be around. They don't think that you're going anywhere, okay? Narcissists are very brazen. So they can come back into your life like nothing ever happened, or they can come back and hoover you. But they could get hurt by their victims because their victims don't give them the time of day. Their victims cut off all supply to them, and all of this is going to hurt the narcissist. So narcissists get burnt because narcissists underestimate their victims and think that they can walk back into their life and get that attention, get that supply from their victims. But a lot of their victims will never, ever even acknowledge the narcissist ever again. That narcissist, they like to not burn bridges, right? But they do burn bridges. So they get burnt because some victims will not let that narcissist come back into their life, all right? The other way that narcissists get burnt by their victims is their victims may take them to court for something. Maybe the narcissist owes them money. Maybe the narcissist harassed them. Maybe the narcissist smeared them or did something like that. And they could have some victims that'll take them to court, all right, for any of these kind of things. The victim, not every victim walks away, okay, and lets the narcissist get away with what they got away with. Some people want justice, all right? They want the narcissist to pay for whatever they've done. So they may use the courts to try to make them accountable. Let's say the narcissist, lent them money. Now they're not going to let it go. Now they're going to try to go to court and try to get that money that the narcissist took from them, all right? That's one way. Another way that narcissists get burnt by their victims is their victims may stop them from ever seeing the kids, all right? If it's a case of a divorce or something like that, the victim is going to try to get full custody of their children because the narcissist is a toxic person. So narcissists can get burnt that way by losing custody of their kids in court for any of the kind of, abusive actions they may have caused. The other thing, the other way that narcissists get burnt by victims is that their victims may move on and become happy with someone else. And this is cutting to a narcissist because, like I said before, a narcissist thinks they can just come back, bounce into your life at any time. But when you move on with somebody else, that hurts the narcissist. They don't think that you're ever going to move on and be happy. They remember you as someone who was idolizing them and thinking they were the greatest thing. So this is a huge blow to the narcissist's ego when they see that you've moved on to somebody else. That's why sometimes when they see you move on to somebody else, they may try to hoover you because it's also a competition. They want to know that they can win you over from whoever you may have started a relationship with. And, when you show them that you don't want to be bothered with them, that's when they can get vindictive, start smearing you even more, all right? But that will burn a narcissist to see you move on with somebody else, okay? Here's another way that narcissists get burnt, because the narcissist may move on to the new supply, and guess what? The new supply may dump the narcissist, and again, when they come back, their victims will not give them the time of day, all right? So again, the narcissist will no longer have access to their victims anymore. The other thing that I want to bring up here about how narcissists get burnt by their victims. Some victims will seek revenge, all right? And people say all the time, then they're narcissistic as well. If they seek revenge, they're narcissistic as well. Not necessarily, all right? Not everybody that seeks revenge is a narcissist. It could be somebody who seeks justice, because they normally wouldn't do these kind of things, but they're seeking justice, all right? So some of the things that victims may do that may burn a narcissist is they may call the new supply, all right? They may try to call the new supply and tell them all the bad things about the narcissist. Now, keep this in mind. This could backfire on a victim. A victim could call the new supply and tell the new supply things about the narcissist that could cause trouble in their relationship. They may even tell the new supply that they were with the narcissist when the new supply met them, okay? That could really cause problems. That's why a lot of times narcissists will block their exes, because they don't want them contacting, them, or when they're around the new supply, or causing problems for them, all right? But the thing is, the new supply has been manipulated so well by the narcissist that 9 times out of 10, when a victim calls the new supply, that new supply is going to think that that victim is crazy, because they've been, painted as a stalker, crazy. The narcissist told the new supply that the victim is a cheater, that they have mental issues, that they won't leave the narcissist alone. This is the lies that they tell the new supply, that, their exes are still after them and everything like that, even though their exes don't want any part of them, okay? They lie because they want the new supply to think they're wanted. Oh, my ex, they're crazy. They won't let me go or anything like that. They're a stalker. They stalk me. Oh, they're possessive, they're controlling, they cheated on me. All right. So they're going to make you out to be a monster to the new supply. So if you ever try to call them, the new supply, first thing they're going to do is go back to the narcissist and tell them everything you said. All right. And this could be opening a whole Pandora's box for you, because now the narcissist is really going to come after you and seek revenge if you contact that new supply. So you guys, it doesn't pay. The best thing to do is leave that mess. The new supply soon enough will find out what the narcissist is, and you don't want to be involved in that mess. All right. But there are some victims that do this, that will call the new supply, tell them all the toxic things the narcissist did, and this will hurt the narcissist because now they're being exposed, all right? Another thing that a victim may do that'll burn the that will burn the narcissist is they will vandalize their stuff, okay? They'll vandalize their stuff. They'll maybe, give their car 4 flat tires or do something like that, all right? Key their car, any kind of their stuff. So a narcissist can get burnt by their victims because their victims may do things like try to damage their property. Another thing that their victims could do is not give their stuff back to the narcissist. Hold the stuff and say you're not getting your stuff back, or not say anything and just throw the narcissist stuff away, all right? That's another way narcissists get burnt, because they end up discarding their victims, moving on to the new supply, and they may have forgot that they had stuff in their victim's house, all right? They may have left things, and now they want their things back, but their victims are so pissed off at what the narcissist did that they don't give them their stuff back, or they could vandalize their stuff, all right? The other thing another way that narcissists get burnt by their victims is their victims will expose them to everyone, all right? Again, this is one of the narcissist's biggest fears. What is their exes or their victims going to tell everybody? And if you ever talk to a narcissist after the discard, the first thing they're going to say to you is, what did you tell everybody? Oh, did you go and tell your family? Oh, did you go and tell your family, your friends what happened? They're very worried about the fact that you may have told other people what they did, okay? That they worry about that more than anything else. So their victims, this is how narcissists get burnt by their victims. Their victims are going to go and tell everybody everything the narcissist did. And this is going to make the narcissist look really bad, all right? This is why the narcissist tries to beat you out on that. And the first thing they'll do on the discard is they'll go smear you so that if anybody comes to them and tries to expose them, they won't believe the person exposing. See, when you expose a narcissist, sometimes it's not so easy. And a lot of times people don't believe you because they've been manipulated by the narcissist to think that you're crazy, you have mental issues, you're on a witch hunt, all right? And so it could backfire on you where people could turn on you when you try to expose them because, again, they've been manipulated by that narcissist. The narcissist beat you to the punch, all right? And that's what happens. The other way that narcissists get burnt by their victims, I'm going to give you guys an example. They can get burnt by their victims when their victims are indifferent to the narcissist. So let's say the narcissist says to you, oh, I don't think this is working out. You need to work on yourself or something like that, or I need time to myself. And they see that you're indifferent to it and you say something like, okay, good idea. All right. And you just, you act like you're not even fazed by the discard. You're indifferent. That is how a victim can burn the narcissist as well, because you're not getting upset. You're not like, oh, what do you mean? What do you mean? Why don't you try to work on the relationship? They don't see you begging, all right? And this will hurt the narcissist's ego. This will burn the narcissist because they see you're cool about it, all right? You're indifferent to it. You couldn't care less, all right? That's showing the narcissist that they're not important, and that will most definitely burn the narcissist. Anytime you show the narcissist that you couldn't care less, all right, whether they walked out of your life, you're totally like taking the wind out of that narcissist's sail. You're showing the narcissist that they're not worth anything because they're not getting a reaction out of you where you're begging them to stay or you're crying or anything like that. You're like, okay, all right. Okay, good luck to you. Okay, good luck to you. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Okay. And you're cool and everything like that. That hurts a narcissist. Or when you ignore the narcissist, that hurts a narcissist. All of these things are how narcissists get burnt by their victims. All right. I'm going to give you guys another way. All right. And it's not necessarily about a discard. A lot of times narcissists feel that they can, manipulate you or hurt you with the silent treatment. But how do they get burnt by their victims? Because their victims may give them the silent treatment right back, okay? There's some people that can give the silent treatment right back to that narcissist, and they can go months. I've seen it. I have seen it, okay? Especially between two narcissists. Sometimes the victim could also be a narcissistic person. Sometimes you could have two narcissists in a relationship and sometimes they last. I've seen it. I've seen narcissists been married for years, all right? But sometimes if the relationship's breaking down, in a narcissistic relationship, a relationship with two narcissists, one narcissist usually has a little bit more power than the other, right? But it doesn't mean that the one that's getting discarded can't hurt that narcissist, because they can, all right? And this is where I talk about how they could do other things. They could, damage their property, take them to court, try to hurt them in other ways, try to, get revenge on them, all right? But acting indifferent also is how another way narcissists get burnt, because their ego is hurt, because you're not begging for them to stay, all right? That's the best thing. Like if a narcissist ever discards you, don't even say anything. Just be like, okay, and then just walk away. Matter of fact, don't say anything. Just walk away. You don't owe them an explanation, all right? And that's showing them that they don't matter. You don't care. They don't matter, all right? So the thing is, sometimes narcissists get burnt because sometimes people, they'll either not care and they'll cut the narcissist off forever, or sometimes you have victims that will give the narcissist a taste of their own medicine. All right. Now, I need to stress this. All right. Because I talked about this in one of my reels where I talked about, just because you express yourself, it doesn't mean, or you yell and scream or something, that doesn't make you a narcissist. All right. If you're responding to somebody who's toxic to you and has, devalued you, put you down or something like that, and you tell that narcissist off, that doesn't make you a narcissist. So many people think that, oh, that makes you a narcissist. No, it doesn't make you a narcissist. It makes you somebody who stands up for themselves, okay? There's a big difference between you being a narcissist who's deliberately out there manipulating people to hurt them or use them, okay? As opposed to somebody who has a right to be pissed off because the narcissist did something. They misled you. They wasted your time. They lied to you. They may have cheated on you. And what are you supposed to not be able to say anything to that? Okay? What are you supposed to not be able to say anything to that? Not everybody just walks away calmly, with their tail between their legs and walks away from the narcissist. Some people want to, let that narcissist know, hey, it's not okay. All right. It's not okay. See, most of the time, influencers or experts will tell you the best thing to do is to walk away from a narcissist. And it absolutely is the best thing because, number one, you're not going to win in a conversation with a narcissist because they don't accept truth. So you're not going to get anywhere with that. You're going to exhaust yourself. But some people, they feel better after telling the narcissist off. Just understand, if you tell a narcissist off, it could cause a narcissistic injury where they're going to come back and start to, they cause problems for you. They'll try to seek retribution, try to hurt you. All right. So the best thing to do is always try to walk away. But not, like I said before, not all victims just walk away. Some victims want blood after that narcissist did them dirty, all right? And they'll find other ways, and this is where the narcissist gets burnt. But that doesn't mean that they're a narcissist because they want revenge, all right? I need to clarify that. Just because somebody wants revenge on somebody, and when I'm talking about revenge, the kind of revenge that I'm talking about, I'm not talking about, physically hurting somebody or anything like that, obviously, right? Because that would be somebody who's narcissistic trying to inflict those kind of harm on somebody. I'm talking about somebody who wants justice, all right? There's a difference. There's a difference between justice and somebody who is out to, let's say, knock the narcissist off, okay? Well, that is justice too, in a way, all right? But you can't do certain things, right? The thing is, some people just want justice, and this is where narcissists get burnt by their victims. And sometimes it's to the extreme too, okay? Sometimes it's to the extreme too. You see the show Snapped? I don't know if you guys know, there used to be a crime show on TV called Snapped. Some people know it and some people don't. And it was about people that were pushed to their limit, where they snapped, all right? It might have been somebody who was constantly abused by the narcissist till they got to a point where they snapped, all right? Normally, this person is a nice person that snapped, but because they have been abused to the 10th degree, they snapped and they ended up murdering the abuser, all right? Because that person, pushed them to their ultimate limit where that person snapped and couldn't take it anymore. I remember seeing a story, all right? There was this girl in DC and she was dealing with this guy, and he was playing with her head, telling her how much he loved her. Oh, I love you so much. He really fucked with her head, all right? And he drove her crazy. What he did, the narcissist drove her crazy. And then he kept cheating on her and doing other things and cheating on her and playing her to the point where she couldn't take it anymore. And she snapped, you guys. She ended up murdering him, all right? She ended up murdering him because she went crazy. She went crazy from all the gaslighting and all of that. And when you are gaslit by a narcissist, they could make you crazy to a point where some victims will snap, all right? Because they can't take it anymore. So that's where a narcissist will get burnt, or they get burnt, in less harmful ways, such as being taken to court or damage of property, or they'll just be ignored by the victims and everything like that. So narcissists, they do get burnt by some victims, not all victims, but they do get burnt by some victims. And they're also very, very surprised too by victims that just turn their back on them. They walk away with indifference. Narcissists automatically assume you're going to fall to pieces and start crying. And not every victim does that. Some victims won't give the narcissist the satisfaction that they hurt them. And they, even though it's killing them, they may walk away, not show the narcissist 1 ounce of a reaction. They walk away and they say, well, if that's what you want to do, okay. And they walk away, and then they don't let that narcissist have access to them ever again. This is how the narcissist gets burnt, because it makes them feel like they're nothing. They never mattered. The victim walked away and showed the narcissist, you're nobody. You're nothing. Okay. You don't want to be with me? Okay. Good luck to you. And they walk away. Okay. That hurts the narcissist. Okay. Because you didn't show them that they got to you. All right. And that's the best way to do it. That is the best way to do it. All right. So you guys, these are all the ways how narcissists get burnt by their victims. Their victims cut them off forever. The narcissist no longer has access to them. Their victims take them to court for money or child custody issues. Their victims leave and move on and are happy or happy with someone else. When the narcissist moves on, the new supply may not work out. They try to come back, and guess what? That door is shut. That's also how victims can burn the narcissist, by no response, okay? When that narcissist comes back after being with the new supply, why are you going to even entertain them? You're not. Don't even give them one word or breath out of your mouth. They don't deserve it. They wasted your time. They played with your feelings. You don't give them 1 ounce of your attention, all right? That's the best revenge, is to make them nothing and to never deal with them again, all right? If you're a good person and you have a good heart and you did good things for that narcissist, it's their loss, not yours. It's their loss, because they lost a good person, all right? So also, you guys, like I said before, some victims will seek revenge, all right? And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're necessarily a narcissist, okay? It means they could be a super empath that's seeking justice, a seeker of truth, all right? And trying to make the narcissist accountable. So that's another way that narcissists get burnt, because they say, you know what? I'm not just going to walk away with the tail between my legs. I'm going to expose you to everybody. I'm going to let all your friends or other people know all the nasty things you've done. I'm going to let people know you're not who you say you are, okay? And that's how narcissists can get burnt by their victims as well. And again, like I said before, a victim can vandalize their stuff, all right? Won't give their stuff back to the narcissist. Victims could also try to get the narcissist in trouble with the law. This goes 2 ways, all right? Narcissists can get you in trouble with the law, and victims can try to get their narcissistic ex in trouble with the law too. Rat them out for something, all right? That happens too, where they maybe they know the narcissist is doing something illegal, and they call the authorities to rat them out because they're so pissed at what the narcissist did to them that this is how they try to burn the narcissist, by, getting them in trouble with the authorities by calling the law, all right? Narcissists will do that as well to their victims, all right, if it gets really ugly between the two of them. And again, victim can act indifferent and discard and make the narcissist feel like they're nothing, all right? So you guys, narcissists do get burnt by their victims, all right? That's why I say, just give the narcissist enough rope and they'll hang themselves, okay? Because today or tomorrow, they're going to hit the wrong one. Today or tomorrow, they're going to get with the wrong one, and that's where that narcissist is going to find themselves in a bad place. They're going to find themselves in a bad place. They may end up, getting involved with another real sadistic narcissist, all right, who they may try to hurt or slight that sadistic narcissist, and that sadistic narcissist, could take their head off, all right? So eventually, not everybody a narcissist gets involved with is an empath, all right? Some people, like I said, they're not going to let things go, and they could come after that narcissist. But again, remember what I said, not everybody who seeks revenge is necessarily narcissistic. Remember that, all right? Remember the definition of narcissism, where the people are lacking empathy. Sometimes victims of narcissists, they are seeking justice, all right? They're seeking justice. It's a little different too. So I hope that helps you. If it does, hit the subscribe button, share the video. If you're looking for confidential one-on-one phone coaching, check out the link in the bio at askyaz.wixsite.com/thegameexposed. I have limited time, so you have to book ahead, you guys. Also, for all my information, my videos, you could check it out on YouTube at the Game Exposed podcast. I have a lot of videos, over 7,000 videos on all different topics of narcissism, okay? A lot on the discard, a lot on covert narcissists, a lot on the manipulation tactics, the silent treatment, how they control you. It's all on my YouTube channel at the Game Exposed podcast. TikTok is the Game Exposed, and Facebook and Instagram is the Game EXP123. And have a great day, you guys.